Hey guys, Tim here with the Long Hair Gardener, and today I'm going to be spending a little bit of time here in my backyard. It's a very dreary, rainy day here in Philadelphia, and I need to be back here doing some work because it's supposed to rain off and on for the next 7 days. So unfortunately, it's that time to dismantle my garden. And especially right now with all of this rain, I do have a few plants that if left out here in this much rain, it's raining right now, by the way, so hopefully raindrops aren't forming on the camera, but basically I need to get some of these plants out of here so that they don't rot. So I'm going to start with, I'm just going to step back here. I think I'm going to start with the begonias. I do have 3 Santa Cruz begonias, and they were grown by Corms. This is the first year that I've grown them. I feel like it was relatively successful, maybe not blooming as much as they could, but the plant looks healthy. And I do know, and I'm sure that you'll see it when I take it out of the ground here, they kind of have like a cup shape. So the center curves in, and they are prone to fill up with water. And like I said, it's going to be raining a lot, so I don't want them to rot. So let me spin the camera around. So I have 2 begonias in this planter right here, and this is why I'm so sad to have to take this apart, because it looks pretty good. But this is the begonia here. It's kind of like intermingling with this coleus, and I will probably have to break a lot of that to get the begonia out. There's another one right here blooming, and another one right back here in this pot. And of course, me digging around in these pots are gonna take away some of the beauty, but it needs to get done. So let me go in here and see what things look like. So like I said, this is my first year growing these types of begonias, so I'm excited to see whether or not the corm has gotten any larger. So this is the stalk right here. I'm a huge fan of just using my hands. I don't really feel the need to pull out a shovel to get this out of here. And okay, so far this is looking pretty much the same as it did when I put it in the ground. So it's kind of crazy that this, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, this corm right here produces this huge plant. But there we are. So that actually wasn't too bad. Let me sit this down here a little bit off to the side. So here you can get a better look at how small this is in comparison to the plant itself. Pretty crazy. But I'm gonna now do that with the other 2 that are in here. It's gonna be another situation like I just did with the first one, where I'm just gonna use my hand, because as you can see, not a lot of roots. So let's just kind of come in here and pop this out. I'm very satisfied with how easy this is coming out, and with minimal disruption to the rest of the planter, because I would like to keep that planter as intact as possible, because it still looks good. All right, let me go ahead and dig out the second one or third one, and then we'll just knock some more of this soil off. definitely breaking a lot of this coleus, not on purpose, but just because of where it's located. Oh yeah. So I'm just gonna come in here again and do a little lift out. How easy was that? So, like I mentioned, this is my first year doing this, so a lot of the times when you have a plant like this that you're taking out of the ground, it's good to leave the foliage on for a few days so that some of the energy can go back into the bulb or the corm. I think I want to try to do that with these as well. Maybe just put the bulbs in a protected container with the foliage sticking out so that they're not getting drenched by the rain. But still the plants will have an opportunity to send some of the nutrients back into the corm. So all I'm doing, it's as simple as this. I just have it in this plastic tray, and then I'm going to cover up the corm part here with another tray, and hopefully that will be enough to keep these dry and allow some of the nutrients to go back into the corms. I have no idea what that noise is in the distance, but there's always noises here in Philly. So yeah, wow, that was faster than I thought. So I think I'm also going to consider taking something else in. All right, I'm going to start taking in or preparing a couple of the caladiums. Some of these, like these guys over here, actually a majority of them are doing fantastic. So I don't want to disturb them quite yet, although I may change my mind in like a day, because that's how things usually go with me. But there is one in here, and I believe there's another one tucked in there, and then there's two in these pots back here, and they are not doing good at all. So I want to go ahead and get those out just to start the process of bringing in the caladiums. So many other things are just looking fantastic, and we are almost at the end of September, so this is always a difficult time of year because I don't want to take my garden apart when it's looking so good, but I know a few cold nights and some rain and things could really start to go bad for a lot of these things. But let's just walk over here since I'm talking about caladiums. I mean, look how great these look. It would be a shame to kind of start putting these, forcing these into dormancy. But here, this one is not doing good at all. Well, while I'm here, let me just dig in here and see what we have. This one, okay, so thankfully the corm is still healthy. There's no problems there. Oh, and also in here, you can barely tell, but I know that they're here. There are some coffee cup elephant ears. So I'm just gonna, while I'm here, pull these out. Wow, they are not looking good. Oh, it looks like we definitely had some rot. This whole planter needs to be redone because there's like all these crazy roots in here, which I think are coming from in underneath the pot. So I may need to do a total soil change with those. While we're here, this other caladium, can I find it? The other caladium is just right here. Do the same thing, kind of dig in. It's very small. Oops, very small corm, but it's healthy, and that's all that matters. So I'm gonna sit these off to the side and also dig a few more out. But for right now, we're gonna put these over here. Oh yeah, I just saw it's like a worm or something. Oh yeah, right there. I don't know if you can see it. The camera does not focus very well, but we'll have to decide on what I'm gonna do with those coffee cup elephant ears. Alright, in true Tim fashion, I have started a project and told myself, oh, I'm only gonna do a few things, and after like getting into it, I realized, okay, I'm gonna maybe dig out all of the caladiums, or at least half of them, because as I'm digging here, it looks like some of them are already not looking great, especially the coffee cup elephant ears. Look like half of them are kind of rotting on the bottom, so I might just go ahead and dig out more of these than I first thought I was going to. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the coffee cup elephant ears, and you can see how it looks like something chewed on the bottom, but I think it's just like maybe rot. So a lot of these are not looking great. On this caladium, kind of similar, where the bottom looks kind of flat. It's like, this is not what it should look like. This one here is very healthy. This is what they look like when I put them in the ground, kind of like a little domed bottom, good size. But these other ones aren't looking so good. So I might come in here, and it's probably because they are in pots with other plants that need a lot of water, and I probably overwater them. That's usually what I like to do. So I might come in here and dig out a few more of these, just so they're not completely ruined by the upcoming rain. Okay, these look perfectly healthy, so that is reassuring. Alright, so this one is in a pot where some of the other plants were kind of rotting a little bit, so I am curious to see what we've got here. Okay, thankfully this one looks pretty good, because I really like this one. Yeah, it's kind of sad to pull these out. And technically, caladiums, you can grow them as a house plant, but I have absolutely no room, so it's a better option for me to bring in the corms, let them go dormant, and then replant them in the spring. Alright, I went for it and removed all the caladiums. Here they are. What a dramatic difference, especially over here and also over here, and especially back in the corner where they are all gone now. It looks very harsh and dramatic to do this, but if I don't take them out now, they are going to start to rot, because a couple of them already have, and I could risk losing all of them. So I'm going to shake off the rest of the dirt here, just kind of gently tapping it on the ground, and using my fingers here to remove any extra dirt. These guys have a lot of roots. See, it's so full and pretty at the top, but then here at the bottom, looked like it was already starting to rot a little bit. So we definitely don't want that. If there's any chance of them coming back for next year. This one, the same thing, starting to look a little bit like it's thinking about rotting. I'm also gonna, it's a little hard to do because I'm holding the camera, but I am gonna come in here and take off these roots too. But I will leave the leaves on. Ooh, this one is, let me try to pull this one out here. Like, look how beautiful and healthy it looks. But then down below here, this is not looking good at all. So this is a, you know, a good point. If I wanted to label all of these, I could, but I never do that. So I'm going to skip that part. You are, of course, more than welcome to do that. But right now I'm just concerned about getting all of this extra dirt off. And then I'm going to put them in a container to start drying. This one still looks pretty healthy. What is the... Okay, this is the frog in the blender. So let me just knock off the rest of this dirt. Alright, all of the dirt, not all of it, but you know, enough of the dirt has been removed, and now all I'm going to do is just lay them in this bin here that I have and just give them a few days to kind of dry out a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of stagger them a little bit so that they have a little bit of breathing room. Holy moly, there are a lot of these. So just like that. And in a few days, you just want to give them some breathing room here. This is not the final storage method, but if you have like a basement, you could just kind of let them dry out in the basement. But I'm going to bring them over here. So I should probably point out that this is not the most ideal time to be doing this while it's raining, when I am preparing something to dry out. But this is just when I have chosen to do it. So yes, why am I walking over here? Let me come back over here. So you can see all the caladiums are taken out. Oh, it looks so sad now. But yeah, I'm just gonna let these kind of sit in here to dry out. Ideally, you should put these somewhere dry. Again, shouldn't be doing it while it's raining, but here we are. I'm gonna cover up part of this bin so that the rain doesn't get in it. It is underneath the tree, so it doesn't really get a ton of rain. And I'm gonna check on them every day to make sure rain's not getting in here and that they're drying out okay. We're gonna tuck them in with this little piece of plastic. Perfect. Probably in about a week, or depending on what the foliage is looking like, I'll come back in here and I'll remove the foliage and do the next step, which is basically, once I'm comfortable with the amount of moisture that's around the corm, which ideally you don't want hardly any, I will go back in and surround the corms with some sawdust. You don't want them not protected at all, just in the open air, because then they will dry out too much. I've had that happen where they just kind of dry up and turn to complete dust. So it's a delicate balancing act of making sure they're protected with just enough moisture so they don't dry out, but not too much that they rot. That's pretty much the plant story always. When it comes to watering, it's always a delicate balance, but we're not watering, we're storing. All right, guys, I think that's everything for today. Was not expecting to do all of these caladiums, but I did them anyway. I'll come back in a few days and finish up the storage process, but I think I have a good start, especially with all of this rain that's coming. So I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.